Suzuki scores!
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Weise Wednesday. This time we're pre-recording, but it is playoff season. Dale, how's it going, man?
It's great, buddy. A little different look for us, but man, this is great. I'm pumped. One night before the Canadiens take on the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is going to be insane. The last 5-6 days of playoff hockey has been outrageous. I've never been such a fan of playoff hockey, man. I've always loved it, but like, just the animosity and the intensity has been insane. It's crazy. And obviously, we got some big headlines with the Montreal Canadiens today. Obviously, looking at the official lineup tomorrow. What do you think about what's going on?
So we have Dominic Ducharme now confirming that KK, Caulfield, and Romanov will not be dressed in the first game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And this kind of goes back to where last week we kind of made up our mock lineup of what we were kind of expecting. I think both of us did have Caulfield out just for how new he was to the team. And this has fans in an absolute outrage on social media right now.
People are losing it. They're losing their shit. And I think rightfully so. I mean, we made our mock lineups, which, we weren't trying to go from a coach's perspective. We were trying to go from our perspective. And we both had Romanov and KK in the lineup as absolute staples. Like it was not even a question we were taking them out, right?
No, for sure. I mean, Romanov, he only got scratched a few times this year, and it wasn't like big bulk consecutive games in a row where he was scratched. So that was one that threw me off completely. The KK one, I can't be insanely surprised, but I am surprised. That doesn't kind of make sense. But what I'm trying to say is, I think the Evans Stahl thing, I know what Ducharme's kind of thinking. I wouldn't have personally done it, but I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you saw our lineups last week, and me and you had maybe a right winger switched Anderson and Army or whatever it was. But, when I look at the forward lines and what I had, and I'm looking at them right now, I mean, that's the best possible lineup that I think they can have out there. So it's crazy. And then, Ducharme comes out today and he makes the comment that all four, coaches and GM, everybody had the exact same lineup and the exact same scratches.
Which is wild.
Like, how honest do you think that was?
I don't know. I hate to put words in other people's mouths, but there's no way all four of them. I mean, me and you watched the team a lot, and we had different lineups. I don't know how 4 or 5 guys could have all the same lineup, the same scratches. I think that was just a little fib to save face, realizing that the fan base is in turmoil right now before even the game's played. This could come back to bite everybody in the ass. Like, they go out, let's say they stomp Toronto tomorrow. Maybe they're right.
Hey, let's hope so, right? I mean, that's what we're hoping for. Obviously, as fans, we want them to go out and we want them to do well. But it's obviously the best part of social media and doing shows like this is you get to have your own opinions. So, for me on the back end, and Merrill has come in and played great. He's steady Eddie. He is what he is. You know what you're getting from him. He's been in the playoffs. He's played well in the playoffs. But to take the experience away from a defenseman that I think is going to be in your lineup for the next 10 years is kind of a weird move to me.
Yeah,
because
sure.
he was a staple in the lineup down the stretch. You were not taking him out of the lineup. He played way too well to even be considered an option. In my opinion, you were taking Kulak out before him.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too, with Romanov. The way he plays, he has some speed to his game, but he also has that physical presence where I think if he gets a few of those open ice hits on, say, a Matthews or a Marner, it might – I know these guys are all-stars and it probably wouldn't change their game, but they might start second thinking coming down the wing with that guy coming flying at them. So I'm not sure of the decision either. I really don't know.
I know. And then when you look at the pairings, and Nick, can you bring up the actual lineup? And awesome. When you look at the D pairings, do you think it's weird that they took Chiarot away from Weber with how familiar they are with each other for the last call it 2 years?
Yeah, like it's weird because like that's the one D pairing that's never changed in the last 2 years. It's always been Weber Chiarot. They read each other. Even Weber touched on it today. Like playing with Merrill is gonna be a little bit different, but he's vocal. It should help. I'm not sure why they broke these two up. I'm not sure what the plan of attack is. It's just weird coming from Dominic Ducharme from how the team played at the start of the year, and then some of these guys you think were absolute locks. Like you were in the bubble last year, and I'm sorry to convert this right back to uh, last year quickly. Is KK was one of your best players in the bubble, and he's not even in game one.
And I said it. I was his biggest advocate for him. Him and Suzuki were the best forwards on our team last year, consistent every single night, and you wouldn't have expected it. KK came in the first game and he scored, like I said, off his leg or something. It was kind of a weird goal, but instantly the guy got confidence and you could just see him just flourish, and he had nothing to lose. It was like, he didn't care what happened during the year where he went to the minors, whatever it was. He was just playing. It's a new season and it's fresh. And I think he was probably looking forward to that same situation here. And now, is it going to be 1, 2, 3 games before he gets in? I don't know. From my opinion on Ducharme, I think he's pretty methodical the way he does things. I can't see him, even if they get blown out in game one, I can't see him making a change. What do you think?
So I mean, obviously everybody knows they're going with experience. That's why the Stahl's in there, the Merrill and everything. But there's one thing that you were kind of talking to us beforehand was, how do these guys get experience if you're not going to play them in these scenarios?
That's a great point. And I feel the same way. And I've always been the biggest, believer in you need experience. And this, you see the teams that have won, they got some older guys that have been there, or as a team, you look at Tampa Bay over the last 6 years, they've gained that experience together. The main core of guys have all been there. They've experienced the ups and downs of the playoffs. And then they finally got over the hump last year. And, when you look at the future of the Montreal Canadiens, KK, Caulfield, Suzuki, Romanov, like these are guys you want in these battles right now. But judging from a coach's perspective and even a GM's perspective at this point, these guys are trying to keep their job. Mm-hmm. So I think, that they're not looking too far in the future. And I'll just speak on Ducharme right now. He's not looking into next year. He needs to win right now because he doesn't know if he has a job next year.
Yeah. And that's exactly right, too, because Bergevin, he goes out and gets Stahl, he gets Merrill. All these guys at the deadlines are the ones that are actually going to be in the lineup for game one. So you got to think maybe Ducharme's thinking like in Bergevin's head, like this guy went out and got these players. This is who he thinks we need. So let's put these guys in the lineup. And I think if you lose game one, then it's time for the kids, maybe game 2, game 3. But I think it's give the vets a chance here with the experience. Let's see how they battle. And if they can't get it done, then it's bring the kids in and let the kids roll.
I think that's a great point. And again, that'd be really smart from Ducharme. If I'm a guy trying to keep my job, I'm going to put in every single guy that the GM brought, and I'm going to hope it works. And then at least if it doesn't, I put the guys that he brought in. I did everything that he wanted, and maybe he'll go to bat for me at the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to work for him, but I understand the balance in the lineup that they're trying to go for there, and to get back on the D pairings, it's a balanced D. With Weber being hurt too, I don't know how many minutes he can play. I don't know how healthy he is. So you're going to need all 3 pairings to roll. That the third pairing of Kulak and Chiarot are not going to play 10 minutes, which if it was Romanov and Kulak, it's probably what they're in that 10 to 12 minute range, and then your top 4 is eating up the rest. I think this is going to be real balanced. And I think that's what they're going for, obviously, with the lineup that they wanted in game one.
I do like having Edmundson Petry as the first pairing per se. I know they're the first on the list that we've all seen. But I don't mind Weber dropping down to that second pairing there. Not sheltering Weber, but maybe a little bit easier matchups. Let Edmundson and Petry who've done so well defensively. I mean, Edmundson's I think top 5 or something, plus minus this year. So I like how Edmundson and Petry are up there. Probably going to be against the Matthews-Marner line, if you have to assume. Mm-hmm. And then you have Weber, Merrill, who can shut down maybe that second line of Foligno, Nylander, Tavares, and then you let the Kulak, Chiarot handle the others. So I understand what they're kind of trying to do here. And you can see in the forward lineup as well, where you have speed, size, and talent on all 4 lines. And then you have the Lecky, Byron, Evans line, which I absolutely love. But I can't say I don't hate the D pairing. I'm just surprised Romanov's not on there. Like we said, we got to wait for game one to see if this works out.
And hopefully it works out. And you said it last week on last week's Wednesday was, you were preferring Edmundson and Petry go against that top line, for their defensive abilities, and then the fact that the beautiful man can jump up in the play and create offense. And if you're going to be playing against that line, there's going to be some open space. They take chances offensively. Matthews, Marner's, they're going to cheat a little bit offensively, and that opens the door for the beautiful man to get up the ice. So I'm hoping the beautiful man gets one in the first game, gets up in the rush, maybe gets hit late or something, and makes it happen. And man, it's gonna be exciting. And let's we can switch over to Toronto's lineup. I think we were pretty bang on last week when we were talking about it, right?
Yeah, we were all that changed. I think it's just Kerfoot and Mikheyev have switched, but I think Nick might have switched that already for us. But this is the lineup they're going with. But they're starting Jack Campbell. Now this is interesting to me, because I'm not saying the Habs are in the same scenario, but Jake Allen played well down the stretch. So, but the one thing with the Toronto Maple Leafs is Anderson is nowhere near Carey Price. So I understand the Campbell thing, but as a goalie that's kind of getting his first crack at a starting role in playoffs for the Toronto Maple Leafs, you got to think the pressure that will be on this guy is insane.
Yeah, so during the year, he's winning games. They got a great team. He's coming in on off nights. A couple of times when Anderson gets hurt, he jumps in and he plays great. And he was awesome all year long. And he does deserve to start, but it's just like you said, it's obviously not the same level as Carey Price and Jake Allen, but it's a similar situation where you're going into game one, both starting goalies were injured. And I love Jake Allen, but there was no way he was starting that game one if Carey Price is available. And when you look at the Campbell situation, man, it's weird because this is Toronto's year. They've been building for this for a long time. They're in a great position. They got a great team. They have a great opportunity where you're going to play Montreal in the first round, which they're probably happy about, and then you're going to go on to play, if they win Winnipeg, Edmonton, which are great teams, but you're getting some pretty good matchups on the way to a potential semifinal. So, man, it's interesting to see a goalie that's getting his first crack. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure on him. And he probably didn't feel it during the year, but he's going to start to feel it now.
Well, they come in as the top dog, right? And let's say, hypothetically here, in this, a little bit of my Habs bias coming out. Let's say Montreal lights up Campbell tomorrow. They go Freddie game 2, and Freddie struggles. What do you do game 3? Like, this could lead to a goalie controversy. And as much as I hate saying it, same thing could happen to Montreal Canadiens. I'm the biggest Carey Price supporter there is. Let's say Carey Price struggles. Do you go Jake Allen game 2? Like, there's the one question mark in this series is goaltending on both sides.
For sure. It is. There are 4 great goaltenders, but the consistency factor just isn't there on both sides, whether that's injuries or how much they've played, and both backups have been unreal when they've needed to be. So it's going to be interesting as if the series progresses late and teams are winning back and forth. It's going to be interesting because I think Carey Price's leash is probably a little longer.
Yeah.
But, like you said, I think if Campbell comes in, gets lit up in game 1, Anderson's going in game 2 no matter what. Yeah. Carey Price has a tough game 1. He's going in game 2. There's no debate there. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, man. Well, that's
it's just one of those scenarios I thought in my head today when I was at work. It was like, if Campbell struggles and Anderson struggles, then that's a real big question mark. And then you're going back to the Bell Center, which will be having 2,500 fans if they make it to game 6, which is insane. 2,500 fans would be loud.
Oh, it would be loud in the Bell Center for sure. For sure. I don't know how they're going to do the tickets yet. I don't know if it's the season ticket holders who gets the first dibs or how they're doing it, but those 2,500 fans are going to be going nuts.
Oh, can you imagine? I'd love to be one of them.
But, it'd be crazy.
So quick, I got to ask you, did you see the video of Pricey today at practice?
I did not see the video.
Oh, man. I don't know if Nick has it. Nick, do you got it? Oh, she says 1 second. So Pricey gets scored on, just get a little bit of a soft one. He obliterates his stick in one swing. I don't know who's skating behind the net, but I mean, so there's
God, I love that.
There's 2 different fan bases right now on Twitter. There's the fan base going, "Oh shit, he's not looking good," and then there's the ones that are going,
Let me
they're just like, "Fuck yeah, he's fired up." Watch this.
Let me take this in here.
So we're just watching a quick video of Price.
Shuffling.
Let's go watch.
Oh, I love that.
See, so there's
that.
So
Man,
fan base is divided. They're saying Price is still struggling, or he's so fired up and watching for.
They should not be divided. I love when he does this, man. Every time he did this, the day before a game, or it was a morning skate, if somebody shot one high, you know, he would take that stuff like I've never seen. And I've played with Henrik Lundqvist, Roberto Luongo, Carter Hart, and Philly. Like I played with a lot of elite goaltenders. This is a pretty good list there. And so Corey Crawford too. I got to give him some love in Chicago. He's unreal. Yeah. But Pricey takes shots up high all the time. But when he loses it, man, in the morning or something, he plays unbelievable that night. Or if someone does something stupid in warm up and hits him in the back or something, or crazy things happen in warm up, he plays unbelievable. He's lights out, man. So seeing that, to me, he's such a big competitor. I love that, man. That fires me up so much. That tells me he's ready. He's pissed. Something happened. I don't know what happened on the drill or what was happening, but he's pissed, and I love that. That's so good for Montreal Canadiens fans.
See, that's what my thing was today. I was like, okay, he's fired up. And I was on the side of the fan base where it's like, okay, watch out. He's getting this fired up in practice. And I think a few reporters have been saying the last couple of days, the players are cheering whenever they score against him now because he's been that good in practice leading up to this. So I think when he lets in a soften like that, he's so fired up because he knows starting tomorrow, it's Carey Price playoff season, which is the best to see.
That's, man, he's lights out when the pressure is on. Like that's when I've seen him play his best. That's his favorite moments. I expect nothing less, man. The Montreal Canadiens are not going to lose this series because Carey Price struggles. I'll be the first to give you the hot take on that one. They will not lose because he struggles. That will not be the reason.
I love it. And I forgot to mention this quickly at the start. At the end, we're going to reveal next week's guest, who was another fan favorite in the Montreal Canadiens a few years ago. I think some people may be able to guess, but we will reveal that at the end of this quick little episode we're doing here. So, Habs projected power play units. Yeah, great call, Nick. It's Perry, Toffoli, Gallagher, Suzuki, Petry. I like that first unit. I think, as I said, like Suzuki was in on, I forget what percentage. A lot of the Montreal power play goals this year, Suzuki's on the ice for them. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great first one. We got Perry, Gallagher out front, Toffoli, Petry, beautiful man himself running the point. I think it's a great setup. Second unit, Stahl, Armia, Anderson, Tatar, Weber. Maybe give your thoughts on this quick, Dale. What do you think of these power play units?
Yeah, I love that first unit. Galley in the slot, and Galley and Perry in the slot and in front of the net is incredible. Like those two guys are some of the best in the league in front of the net, tipping pucks, finding loose change. That's where we're going to score. And I don't know how many power plays are going to be in the series. That I've been watching the other series, and we'll touch on that in a moment here. But there hasn't been a lot of power plays. But for the Montreal Canadiens, a team that does not score very much 5-on-5, it's going to be huge in this series. It's going to be huge. And I like that first unit. Suzuki coming off the flank. He's got Toffoli as a one-timer backdoor there. Like, it's just a really, really good unit. Beautiful man up top. He's so good at getting pucks through. I really like that power play. And even the second unit there, I wouldn't say it's a 1A situation, but that's a really good unit. And anytime you got Weber on the back bombing, that's a good unit. That's a really good second option to have.
And for the ones I don't understand this fan base sometimes, man. Like some people are like, why is Weber out there? Like, okay, you go out there on the penalty kill when he's out there and let's see how much you like that.
Yeah. There's just
block that shot and let me know how you feel.
And he doesn't even need to shoot one to be a deterrent out there. Like you're standing, he's drawing a guy over there, which opens up other options. And I as you play teams in series, and they've played each other a lot this year, so they know each other's tendencies. But there's going to be some things that Alex Burrows and the power play will be able to pick apart, and Weber's going to be a big part of that, drawing guys to him, because you can't give that guy a one-timer. You can't just say, well, he hasn't scored a lot of power play goals like fans say this year, and I don't know why he's out there. Well, leave it open and see what happens, because he's going to absolutely blow it through you. And if you do get in the lane, he's going to break your foot, or he's going to break your hand or something, or nobody's going to get in the way because they don't want to block it anyways. So it's crazy, man. I like both units. They're going to be huge.
Oh, there's some Weber. He said he's back to normal today, taking bombs at practice. You got to love to see it. I know Toffoli today said Weber was like a little kid today at practice because he was allowed to do the physical contact. He was allowed taking bombs. So I'm excited for this team because I think with this week off they essentially had, and us ourselves. Like, I'm rejuvenated. I couldn't imagine how the players feel. Those nagging injuries gone, some rest here. You might be able to see that team that started the year off so hot with a lot of speed and intensity.
You just got that fresh start, man. Like when you get 2 days off during the season, you feel like it's incredible. And this team hasn't had that for, well over a month. So this week, man, you just feel like it's a beginning of a new start. It's fresh. Everybody gets a fresh mindset. Doesn't matter what happened. You just come in and you're excited and use that energy for game one. And, even a guy like Weber that's been around so long, you still get excited for playoffs. And you could see it, the fact that guys are saying he was like a little kid out there. And Weber practices as hard as anybody. Like you're not going to the front of the net with Shea Weber out there and not getting a cross-check in practice. So, he's going to be fresh. I'm excited for game one tomorrow, man. It's going to be awesome.
I love it too, because we've been watching the playoffs around the league and the intensity and the speed and just how physical they are. Like, it's been absolutely incredible watching the teams in the South, or south of the border, I should say, because the North hasn't started yet. They officially start tonight, Wednesday. But maybe give some thoughts on what you're seeing around the league and what you're liking in playoffs.
Yeah, so I watched a little bit of the American teams during the year. I didn't watch a ton. I was more focused on the North Division, but the games are insane, man. During the year, I just felt like you could tell a lot of guys were tired, or it was like, the fourth game in 5 nights or whatever it was. You could tell teams were exhausted. Guys weren't finishing checks. They weren't doing just the little extra things that you do when you're trying to preserve energy, which is fine. I've been there, like, 3 and 4, you're like, man, I'm not going to finish this check because I'm gassed, like it happens. Yeah. And now, like, the switch is just completely flipped, and you've played these guys all year. So yeah, you didn't have the energy during the year, but you're pissed off at a lot of guys in those other teams. You've played each other so much. And I just think that's just boiling over right now. And it's so exciting as a fan to watch. Guys are just destroying each other. Like, I don't know the comparison of like hits per game in the playoffs right now compared to the regular season, but there's so much more hitting. It's so physical. The Florida-Tampa series, my goodness. How about Nikita Kucherov? And we don't need to go into detail on a lot of things on each game here, man, but let's talk about that guy. He takes a year off, comes back, and he's the best player on the ice. He's the best player on the ice.
It's incredible. Like, I don't understand. Like, just quickly on your other point too, was you're playing all year, these back-to-backs, no rest. So fans don't seem to understand that you guys can't go 120% like playoff mode all year round. You guys wouldn't make it.
No.
You guys would fizzle out. And so to see this flipped switch is what I'm curious how the North Division is going to be able to maybe match the intensity and the speed and the physicalness you're seeing down in these other games that have already started, because it's incredible. Because like you were saying, like Kucherov takes a year off. And not too many guys can come back, not look like they missed a step and pot 2 in the first game.
Man, he looked incredible. And I think both North Division series are going to be absolute wars. Winnipeg has to make it a war on Edmonton. They have to make it physical on McDavid. Not that you can really do that because he's so good. He's so fast. But you got to find a way somehow. Get in his way. Like we talk about, the refs don't call it the same in the playoffs. You can get away with a little more getting in front of guys, slowing up lanes, but there's going to be some shots taken on him for sure. You have to figure that. And Winnipeg's got a big physical team. They can play that way. And Toronto and Montreal, I don't care if it's 2021 or it's 1979. These guys are going to be destroying each other tomorrow. Like, it's going to be so exciting. Guys are going to be amped up. They've had a week off. They're as fresh as they've been all year. I think the first 10 minutes are going to be wild.
Oh man, I could only imagine if you could go back and you could play in this series right now, like how amped up would you be going into this?
I'd be so pumped, man. I'd be so pumped. Like, just completely running around for the first 3-4 shifts for sure. Just trying to destroy guys, man. I think it's going to be, like I said, I think they're going to match the American team series. They're going to be killing each other. And Montreal has to make it that hard series. It can't be a freewheeling game. And we talked about it last week. It has to be a hard series. And Montreal has the bigger bodies on the D core that can make it hard in the D zone. But there's a lot of guys up front that you got to take extra nicks out of guys. And man, I can't wait to watch. I'm excited and I'm ready. Locked and loaded for game one, buddy.
Okay, same here. So just quickly, Nick, just so the fans, because we just will go around the league. So I know Boston, Washington's 1-1 right now. That series, that's been a war. because like I'm sure the Wilson hit on Lazar was insane. Like he didn't tip him over into the bench, he hit him into the bench. But so Boston, Washington's tied 1-1. We have the Islanders and Pittsburgh that are also 1-1. Vegas, Wild 1-1. That series has been fun. Carolina,
that's a great
Nashville.
series. Hey, let's just touch on that one for a second. Those are two great teams, no?
Yeah. Vegas against the Wild.
Oh man, yeah.
It's that's one sneaky team I don't think fans don't really recognize if they don't pay attention to other divisions. Is the Minnesota Wild have had a great year. They're good at home. Vegas is obviously stacked with the moves they've made. But that's a good series. If you were looking for something on a night where you don't have much going on, check into one of these games. It's crazy. Also, another one is the Carolina-Nashville is crazy. 12,000 fans. Sorry, Nick, we keep jumping everywhere here on you. But 12,000 fans, a little bit of normalcy. You've seen fans back in the States. Like we said earlier, Montreal's getting 2,500 if they make it Game 6. Absolutely. But some normalcy coming back is awesome. And then this other series, which is going to be a war, is Colorado-St. Louis 1-0 as well. But Colorado's so good.
Oh, Colorado's so good, man. All those teams are so good. The parity in the NHL is incredible, man. Every team in the playoffs has a chance this year. It's. I was shocked by Minnesota, just to touch on them quickly.
Yeah.
Wow. Like I didn't watch them enough this year. Cam Talbot was unbelievable in Game 1. Played great again last night. Like their whole team in Minnesota has just changed completely. Like you could just see the way they play. Before, to me, they were like this defensive kind of boring team. They had great defense. Devin Dubnyk was good for a couple years there for them, but like Cam Talbot solidified the goaltending position for them. They got some great young defensemen. They're a big team. They're physical. Man, that's a great series.
I'm not sure if you heard Kirill Kaprizov. There's an interview on Chicklets with Marcus Foligno, and he said before the year started, Kaprizov was skating with the taxi squad guys, and they had a group chat.
Yeah.
Kaprizov sent it to the group, meaning to text it to the trainer. Why the fuck am I with the taxi squad guys? I want to be with the good guys.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
so Kaprizov from the start,
he
was going to be good.
Man, that's confident. That's confidence. Hey, holy smokes!
Rookie coming in, but St. Louis without Perron. It's just crazy. Like the playoffs are finally here. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk to one of our biggest supporters as well. We talked about the Bell Center having 2,500 fans, but we know Maclean's Pub is opening up in Montreal, reopening May 28th. This guy has been a big supporter of our show. I know we're doing our first live show there 100% when we can get together and travel. So if you're in Montreal, Maclean's Pub, reopening May 28th. Make sure you order some food or a drink to go. Whatever it is, try support.
Absolutely. We'll post that on our socials so you guys know which pub we're talking about too. They've supported us from day one. I can't wait to do a show there. It's going to be awesome.
For sure. And so I'm not sure, Dale, do you want to kind of reveal who's on next Wednesday? I think the fans are going to be pumped for this one.
I think they're going to be excited, buddy. This is a guy that just freshly retired, freshly pulled the plug. Not obviously not by his choice. This guy would continue to run through a wall for you. An amazing teammate, Stanley Cup champion, former Montreal Canadian, and I got to know him in Chicago when I played with him. And then I got back in Montreal with him, and I got a chance to really, really enjoy playing with him. He's an amazing guy, incredible competitor. What a career. And I'm very excited that next Wednesday we're going to have Andrew Shaw on Weise Wednesdays. It's going to be awesome, and I'm so excited to talk to him and just break down his career. He's just a really good storyteller, a really, really hilarious guy, man. One of the funniest guys I played with, and I know I say that a lot, but he's right there, and I'm really excited to get him on the show.
Oh man, I'm so pumped up. I could only imagine, like, this is what I kind of alluded to earlier on the show, but I didn't want to drop it. I was like, I said, could you imagine if you could play? But could you imagine if you and Shawzy were on a line going after the Toronto Maple Leafs? Like, it would be incredible.
That's a good question, man. He'd be running through the wall for sure, that guy.
So Andrew Shaw next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully the series is still going so we can get maybe some hot takes out of Shawzy. Talk about his career, like you said. Incredible career with the Chicago Blackhawks and Montreal Canadiens. This Saturday, Crushing Cans, live playoff stream. Derek and myself. I think Phil Aubrey's coming back on.
I believe he is coming on. I believe he's coming on for the first period, I believe.
Yeah. And then I think Dale might make an appearance. Maybe some members of our team will make an appearance. But all Saturday, Habs versus Leafs, Derek and I crushing cans, watching the game.
Exciting.
It's going to be exciting.
Saturday night. Absolutely. I'm going to jump on there for sure. I got to find some time to get in with you boys. That was fun last time we did it, but this is going to be even better for playoffs.
Okay. And then we have the live pregame tomorrow with Nick and Drew, followed by a live postgame with Dale or yourself. You're jumping on, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm jumping on with Steffi and Deeks, and maybe we'll have a couple other people from the team jump on and kind of roundtable. We're open to all fans. We want to interact and hear your thoughts on the game. Hopefully, after a big win, or even if the boys don't pull it out in game one, we can break it down and dissect it any way you like. So I'm really excited for the playoff shows coming up. The pre-games, we'll do as many live ones as we can, and Nick and Deeks kill the pre-games. Post games, I'm going to try to be on every one and answer some questions about my thoughts, or you guys can come on, give your opinion. I'm excited, man. This is going to be a great playoff run.
Oh man, and I said it earlier, I know the players are rejuvenated, but even ourselves as the channel, the team of Habs tonight, we got a few days off here, and it's just awesome because now we're going into playoffs. Everybody's jumping on board. It's going to be fun. Hopefully, the Habs. As a Habs fan, this is me personally talking right now. As long as the effort's there and the heart, I don't care what happens. That's all I care about. But it's playoffs against the Toronto Maple Leafs. You gotta think Gallagher, Anderson, Weber, Pricey, all these guys are going to be mutants. So I trust the boys.
There's a lot of character in that locker room, man. There's a lot of meat, and I like it. A lot of beef.
Yeah.
A lot of beef. Let's go.
For sure. So this is the Habs tonight. Dale, myself, Brandon, thank you, Nick, for running things in the back end here. One last thing is go Habs go, and let's get it done.
Go Habs go.